Chapter 31 Yafei, The Medicine Cauldron. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaolan felt a little strange. This has the comforting sense of being inspected by a big leader in the workplace. In just a few words, he almost burned his CPU dry, but Xiaolan didn't think much about it, he just took it as Su Yun's kindness. Thank you, master, for your comfort. Su Yun saw his reaction in his eyes. I laughed secretly in my heart. If you don't scrap your CPU, how can you puyu? Su Yun nodded, and gave him this month's elixir from the ring. Although the talents in the talent pool have not yet formally joined the company, they are still registered in the company, being hung up by him. At least 100 yuan a month will be paid, right? In this regard, he is still better than the capitalists in the previous life, some people, but they will not even give you a dime. Xiaolan took the elixir in his hand, feeling a little moved in his heart, but he couldn't say anything to repay his kindness. My family knows about my family affairs, so I am afraid that he is not qualified to repay his kindness in this situation. Xiaolan hated in his heart. He had been using this elixir for a year, recently absorbed the energy of heaven and earth, and the speed of condensing Dou Qi was obviously faster, but it was useless. Thinking of this, Xiaolan feels guilty again, alas, wasting master's time in vain. But he didn't say anything to ask Su Yun to take back the pill. To put it bluntly, he still had some thoughts in his heart, thinking that maybe after taking it for a longer time, he would be able to recover. Su Yun encouraged him a few more words and left. He plans to go to Middle's auction house again today. When he came to Middle's auction house, Su Yun was invited into the VIP room by the guards, but to Su Yun's surprise, it was not Quang Tang who came to entertain him here, but a woman. The woman was wearing a long red dress, with a curvy figure, extremely hot, with a mature and charming style all over her body. You must be Master Han. The woman's voice is so charming that it makes people feel bone numb. Su Yun frowned, already having some guesses in his mind. My heart moved. System, scan the woman in front of me. Ding, the scan was successful. Name, Yafei, gender, female, cultivation level, 5 stages of fighting spirit, physique, no, attributes, none, skills, none, fighting skills, none, item, low-level receiving ring. Su Yun nodded secretly. Sure enough, the plump woman in front of her was Yafei. Su Yun felt a little strange. According to Quang Tang, isn't it half a year before the middle family will change their positions? Su Yun asked Yafei directly. I don't know, where did the former head of Mad Tang go? Now that he has the cultivation base of an 8-star great fighter and the status of a 4th-rank pharmacist, he is already a ceiling-level figure in Wutan City, so naturally he doesn't need to be too polite. Ask Mr. Quang Tang. He was transferred back to the imperial capital. Some time ago he succeeded in breaking through and became a strong fighting spirit. After the consideration of the higher-ups, he was transferred back. Yafei had a charming voice. She sat down while speaking. Her exquisite figure and perfect curves made Su Yun's eyes dry for a while. After all, he was just an old virgin. For a woman like Yafei who is as mature as a peach, her resistance is very low. Although Su Yun was aroused in his heart, he didn't show it on the surface, so he continued to ask. Oh, is that right? I heard from him before that he won't be transferred until half a year later. Yafei was not surprised. According to the information she got before coming to Wutan City, the relationship between this Master Han and Quang Tang was pretty good. It is normal to know something about Middle's family. A trace of unnaturalness flashed in Yafei's eyes, but she had already done her homework before she came to Wutan City. For such a question, the rhetoric has been prepared. Isn't this the hard work of Elder Quang Tang? Elder Quang Tang has senior qualifications and has become a strong fighting spirit. Naturally, he was transferred to the imperial capital in advance. The unnaturalness in Yafei's eyes was quickly covered up. She covered her lips with her slender hands, and smiled coquettishly. A realization flashed in Su Yun's heart. Although the unnaturalness in Yafei's eyes was only fleeting, but Su Yun still noticed it. It's just that he thought about it before. I'm afraid Mu Zhan chased Yafei closely, and the matter was completely fermented in the imperial capital. After less than half a year's post-transfer, Yafei was sent down in advance. Su Yun nodded. Since she didn't want to say it, Su Yun didn't expose it either. However, according to Yafei, this Mad Tang really got promoted. He actually became the elder of the middle family. Su Yun didn't get too entangled in this matter. he came here to buy medicinal materials. I still don't know what your name is. Su Yun pretended not to know, and asked Yafei about it. My name is Yafei, Master Han can just call me Yafei. Now I am the new head of Wutan City. If Master Han has anything to do in the future, just come to me directly. Although Elder Quang Tang has returned to the imperial capital, the relationship between Middle and Master Han will not be alienated because of this. Yafei smiled and said to Su Yun, this smile is like an old fox. Apparently, this Yafei was just like what he remembered, although her cultivation talent was extremely poor, but he is still unwilling to be ordinary, and wants to control his own destiny by drawing together various forces. Su Yun knew in his heart that this concubine wanted to drag him into Middle's family just like Mad Tang. Su Yun and Yafei greeted each other politely, bought the medicinal materials he needed, and planned to leave. Although Yafei surprised him, Su Yun didn't want to put too much thought on her. After all, what he needs most now is strength, not a woman. Time passed little by little, and in another 2 years, Qinglian's heart fire would be taken away by Medusa. He had to plan in advance, so he didn't have to worry about meaningless things. When he breaks through Douling, it's time to go to the Great Tagore Desert. Su Yun cupped his hands. If there is nothing wrong, Han will leave. Master Han, wait a minute. Yafei stopped him loudly. What's the matter with this woman? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. Yafei saw that Su Yun seemed a little upset, and quickly explained. Master Han, concubine Ya is new here. She just came to Wutan City. I hope the master can take care of you. I prepared a meeting gift for you before. Su Yun was surprised. You should have said earlier if there was a meeting ceremony. It is undeniable that Su Yun is such a profit-seeking person. It is a bastard not to take advantage of the advantage. Seeing Su Yun stop and look at herself, Yafei heaved a sigh of relief and took out something from the ring, medicine cauldron. Su Yun was surprised. From his eyes, it is not difficult to see that this is a fourth-order medicinal cauldron. Seeing that Su Yun showed interest in the medicine cauldron, Yafei smiled again. When she was still in the imperial capital, she deliberately bought this medicinal cauldron at a huge price in order to win over Su Yun. Now it seems that her thoughts were not in vain. Su Yun did have a lot of interest in this medicinal cauldron. You know, this medicine cauldron also has grades, from low to high. There are a total of 1 to 8 ranks, and above the 8th rank, there are 13 statues, and these 13 medicinal cauldrons are all on the list of heavenly cauldrons. Yao Lao's Black Demon Cauldron is one of them. Ask for a recommendation ticket. Ask for a monthly pass. Please follow up. Chapter 32 The Little Doctor's Emotions, Part 3, to commemorate the first reminder and reward O. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yun looked at the medicine cauldron up and down, amazed. This thing is not bad. When Quang Tang was still there, none of the things that were given to him were as valuable as this thing. It should be noted that at the pharmacist meeting of the Jiama Empire, Yao Yue and Lu Ling brought out the bottom of the box, which was only a 5th-order medicine cauldron. One was backed by the royal family, the other had a good master, and the medicine cauldrons he sold were all no more than 5th tier. This 4th-tier medicine cauldron was already extremely good in the Jiama Empire, at least in his opinion. It must have taken a lot of effort to show Yafei with her current status. You have a heart. The expression on Su Yun's face also looked better. He nodded at concubine, and put the medicine cauldron into the system space. Seeing Su Yun accepting the medicine cauldron, Yafei smiled in her heart. Su Yun accepted the medicine cauldron, although it didn't mean anything. But how to say it is also a kind of incense. Yafei and Su Yun said a few more words of courtesy, and then sent Su Yun out of Middle's auction house. Now that she has not gained a firm foothold in Wutan City, there is no need to rush to win over Su Yun. Just when Su Yun returned home, he took out a medicine cauldron and started alchemy. This medicine cauldron is not the one given by Yafei before, but the black magic cauldron. That's right, it was Yao Lao's Black Demon Cauldron. When Xiao Zhan asked him to refine the qi-gathering pill for Xiao Yan before, Su Yun came over from Yao Lao. Not only the Black Demon Cauldron, but Na Ling from the Bone Flame Ring was also taken by him. When activating the system at the beginning, I didn't think too much. I just copied Yao Lao's memory, but when he returned to Wutan City again, when he came into contact with the Xiao family, his mind unavoidably became active. He carefully selected, and finally brought these 2 things over. Needless to say, the preciousness of the black demon cauldron. For alchemists, apart from the strange fire, this medicine cauldron is the most attractive to them, and this nailing is to absorb Qinglian's heart fire. Na Ling, who he had been looking for with Kuang Tang for a year before, did not move, so he changed his mind. This thing is extremely rare, and there is not much stock in the Jia Ma Empire. In order not to delay the absorption of the strange fire, he took it away, in the original book. He had no idea about Xian Chongqi, who was shining so brilliantly. The Xuanzhong ruler is too iconic. When the black demon cauldron can be used to refine medicine by oneself, it is used secretly, let alone Na Ling. It is usually placed in the system space, and when it absorbs the strange fire, it will enter the Dantian, which is highly concealed. As for the Xuanzhong ruler, if you take it out against the enemy, unless you kill all the people present, it will spread. Be careful, Yao will always look for news to trouble you, and no matter what, you have to save something. What should you do if the sheep are bald and frozen to death? No matter what, you should leave a layer of skin for him to spend the winter, right? Do you understand the gold content of sustainable development? After refining the elixir to assist in cultivation, it was already dark, so I had dinner with the immortal doctor and practiced for a while. Suyun planned to rest. At this time, the little fairy doctor opened the door and came in, with a smile on his face, and threw himself into Suyun's arms. His rest time at night is basically fixed, and the little fairy doctor has already figured it out. Suyun hugged the girl's delicate body, like warm jade in his arms, warm and moist. Suyun is a little greedy, and their relationship has become closer during this time. He is only a single mother and fetus. He is not stupid, he can feel it. As he grows older, the little fairy doctor's affection for him is no longer just that of the little girl who asked for help. Suyun is greedy for the little fairy doctor, so why not the little doctor fairy? In Suyun's bosom, the little fairy doctor is a little bit attached. The bosom of brother Suyun is the safest place in the world. Suddenly, the little fairy doctor frowned, and smelled an unusual smell. Suyun practiced alchemy all the year round, so her body was inevitably filled with a medicinal fragrance and the smell of medicinal materials, but today she smelled something else. It's the smell of rouge and perfume. The little fairy doctor broke free from Suyun's embrace, with a hint of jealousy in his tone. Brother Suyun, where did you go today? Suyun was a little strange, and the little doctor's reaction was a little abnormal. I went to the miter auction house. What's the matter? Brother is lying. Well, the little fairy doctor cried and made noises with tears in his eyes. My brother didn't lie to you. How could my brother lie to Sienna? Suyun felt a little headache. Why did he cry? This is not his field of expertise. My brother smells like rouge, even Sienna can smell it. My brother must have gone to those dubious places. The little fairy doctor cried. Suyun couldn't help but smile bitterly. This was really a big misunderstanding. Suyun explained to the little fairy doctor all night, until the little doctor was tired from crying and fell into a deep sleep, and then he stopped. Suyun was a little ashamed. This reality is no different from a novel. The other protagonists are hugging left and right, and he can't grasp this one. The next day, while eating breakfast, the little doctor's cheeks were bulging like steamed stuffed buns. Still angry, Suyun smiled wryly, and hugged the little fairy doctor in his arms. The little doctor resisted twice before falling into Suyun's embrace. Okay, I like Sienna the most, don't be angry, okay? Suyun was blowing hot air next to the little fairy doctor's ear, rubbing his ears and temples together. A blush appeared on the little fairy doctor's face, and he hugged Suyun with his backhand. Sienna is not angry, it's just that yesterday I didn't know why I felt uncomfortable, and Sienna didn't know why. Suyun pinched the little fairy doctor's cheek, and smiled in his heart. In fact, the little doctor fairy is only 13 or 14 years old this year. It's normal to not know what jealousy is, but it's still necessary to have emotions. Suyun hugged the little fairy doctor back to the chair, but he didn't dare to hold it all the time. Because of the nourishment of Dou Qi, people in the Dou Qi Continent develop faster. Although she is only 13 years old, from Suyun's point of view, she is almost the same as a 16-year-old high school student. This early in the morning, he was already very angry, and he didn't want anything to happen right now. After all, it was too much punishment. Now it is still mainly about cultivation. If he really has enough strength, it will not be too late to talk about these. After all, the strong in this world live longer, and it is never too late. Speaking of this, Su Yun was a little bit emotional. What a pity, Master Xing. 1 month later, Su Yungang sent the elixir to Zhao's house and was about to go back, but his way was blocked by 2 people. Su Yun frowned and scanned the 2, name, Gabriel, sex, male, cultivation, 5-star great fighter, physique, no. Attribute, wind, cultivation method, mysterious low-level Qingfeng Ju. Fighting skill, mysterious level low-level wind-shaped palm. Item, low-level receiving ring, name, Aubaton. Sex, male, cultivation, 6-star great fighter, physique, no. Attribute. Wood, cultivation method, mysterious low-level Aoki Kung Fu. Fighting skill, mysterious level low-level 3 wooden fingers. Item, low-level receiving ring. Su Yun knew in his heart that it was these 2 things. The person who came was the patriarch of the other 2 major families in Wutan City. Speaking of which, this is the first time he has met these 2 people, and it has been almost 2 years since he cooperated with the Xiao family to sell pills. These 2 people just managed to come to see him today. To be honest, he was quite surprised. As the patriarch of a family, these 2 are quite calm. Thanks for the reward of G. The first reward for this book. A new chapter will be added today. Celebrate. That it is best to ask for recommendation tickets, monthly tickets, and follow-up. Chapter 33, Galileo's calculation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although he already knew the identities of the 2 of them and guessed their purpose, Su Yun still bowed his hands. I don't know why you 2 came to find Han. If there is nothing wrong, please make way. Han still has something to do. Galileo and Aubaton looked at each other with bitterness on their faces, although he knew that it was the middle-aged man in front of him who had put their family in a desperate situation, but they didn't dare to put on airs in front of this person. If they really offended a 4th-grade pharmacist, it would be better for them to bring their respective families and escape from Wutan City. The 2 forced out a self-confident and kind smile on their stiff faces, and said to Su Yun. Your Majesty, Gabriel. Next, Aubaton. Su Yun nodded, looking calm, nodded. It turned out that the patriarchs of the 2 major families in Wutan City were face to face, disrespectful. Su Yun's tone was extremely perfunctory. He is a dog, but there is no young man who is not arrogant, just 2 big fighters. He knows the details of these 2 people. With his current strength and influence, he is not afraid of them jumping over the wall in a hurry. He didn't even need to do it himself. There will be many forces in Wutan City who are willing to clean them up and make Su Yun a small favor, such as Yafei from Middle Auction House, and Luo Qianqian from the Alchemy Guild. It is no exaggeration to say that he is now the biggest local snake in Yudan City. Is there something wrong? Su Yun asked. The 2 had obviously discussed it before they came, and Galileo took a step forward and cupped his hands. Master Han, we've decided on a meal in the inn. Why don't you please move on, and talk slowly when we arrive? Su Yun waved his hand. He didn't want to waste time on these 2 cannon fodder, and looked impatient. Just saying it here, I'm in a hurry. Seeing this, the expressions of the 2 became even more bitter. The 2 looked at each other, and Aubaton took a step up with a solemn expression. That being the case, let's get straight to the point. We want the master to refine some pills for our 2 families and sell them in the square market. If the Xiao family is willing to give you, our 2 families can also give it. In the past 2 years, the 2 of them have been suppressed to death. Through Su Yun's elixir, their profits in the market have plummeted, and not many people are willing to come. In the beginning, by lowering the price of other things, they were able to hold on and pull some people back, but with the passage of time, during this period, the Xiao family also began to lower prices. They pulled people back again. They have been losing money for the past few months, and they really can't hold on, so the 2 families came together, planning to start from the source, gather the resources of the 2 families, and see if they could win this 4th-grade pharmacist into their family. Su Yun knew it in his heart. The false news that he had been rescued by Xiaolin from the Xiao family before was guarded by Xiao Zhan and the others. This gave the 2 people the idea of wooing him. Su Yun shook his head. Skipped the 2 of them directly, and didn't answer them. The 2 looked at each other, not daring to go up and ask. What should I do? Asked Aubaton. At this point, there is only one way. Galileo felt ruthless in his heart. Are you going to There was a flash of shock on Aubaton's face, and a flash of flinch on his face. Stupid. What are you afraid of? Do you think we still have a way out? Galileo hated that iron could not be made into steel. The matter has come to this point, either he will die, or we will die. If this continues, our two families will definitely die. There was a flash of struggle in Aubaton's eyes. After hesitating for a moment, he felt that Aubaton was right. He took a deep breath, as if he had made up his mind. Okay, done. There was a trace of relief on Galileo's face, with a teachable expression. Let's go, I've paid all the money for this inn. If you don't eat for nothing, let's talk while eating. Galileo took the initiative to put his hand on Aubaton's shoulder, with the expression of a good brother. Aubaton felt the same, nodded, and walked to the inn with Galileo. It's just that he didn't notice that there was a trace of inexplicable and ruthless flashes on Galileo's expression, at night, in a courtyard of the Jue family. Patriarch, are we really going to intercept and kill a fourth-grade pharmacist together with the Oba family? In the courtyard, several elders of the Jue family and Galileo were discussing matters. One of the elders of the Jue family said. Madness. Galileo scolded the elder, just like during the day, with a face full of hatred that iron cannot be made into steel. This. The patriarch was stunned by Galileo's scolding, and he didn't know what Galileo meant. The identity of a fourth-grade pharmacist is so detached, if we dare to make a move, there is no need for Hanli to do it himself. In order to please him, all the forces in Wutan City will join hands and tear us apart. Gabriel put his hands on his forehead and sighed. You must know that the rank of pharmacists in Dou Qi Continent is generally higher than that of Dou Qi. A fourth-grade pharmacist can completely compete with a fighting king. This is not the so-called fairy inequality in the previous life, where a girl with a college degree is equal to a boy, and a bachelor's degree is equal to a double first-class fairy. It is the real influence and the value that can be created, to a family, a fourth grade. Pharmacist is even more valuable than a fighting king in some respects. How could he really intercept and kill a fourth-grade alchemist? This elder, like that Aubaton, is an out-and-out fool. Galileo sneered at the elder. Intercept and kill a fourth-rank pharmacist? With what to intercept and with what? Just because you have a bigger brain, can you hold more water? The elder was so speechless by Galileo that he simply lowered his head and pretended to be dead. Snort. Seeing that elder pretending to be dead, Galileo snorted coldly. Patriarch, then why did you discuss the killing with Aubaton today? Another elder couldn't help asking. Waste, it's all a bunch of waste. Unexpectedly, not only did Galileo not answer, but continued to curse. The elders looked at each other, wondering why Gabriel was going crazy. Why did you intercept and kill Master Han with the Oba family? It is obvious that Aubaton has evil intentions and tried to murder Master Han, and even wanted to drag us into the water. Galileo scolded for a while, and his anger subsided, and said, hearing what Galileo said, the elders' eyes lit up and they couldn't help nodding. Clever plan, clever plan. Yeah, what the patriarch said is right. This Aubaton wolf is ambitious. He dared to be unfavorable to Master Han, and planned to drag our Jue family into the water together. How can we, the Galileo family, be willing to join forces with others? The elder who was stunned by Galileo just now raised his head and said hastily. Galileo stroked his beard. A child can be taught. We not only don't want to join forces with the Obama family, we even want to report them. Yes, report them. Speaking of which, how should I contact Master Han? Ask for recommendation, ask for monthly pass, ask for follow-up reading. Please everyone. If you still have tickets, please consider this book. If it can reach the top 20 on the new book list, add another chapter. Break into the top 15, add 2 more chapters. Into the top 10, plus 3 more chapters. Believe it, there are still manuscripts in hand, please. Chapter 34 The Thing on the Little Fairy Doctor's Face, second update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Aren't you stupid? I don't know the address of Master Han. Isn't it hard to find the residence of the Xiao family? Yes, let's tell the Xiao family. Not only do we have to tell the Xiao family, but we also work with the Xiao family to destroy the Auba family. In this way, the elders of the Jiaoya family sold the Auba family with just one sentence from you and one sentence from me. The Jiaoya family did what they said, and the next night, Jialibi secretly went to Zhao's house alone. What? Aubaton actually dared to attack Master Han. In the hall of the Xiao family, Xiao Zhan was shocked when he heard the news that Galileo said, now Su Yun is the great benefactor of their Xiao family. In the past 2 years, because of the elixir business, their Xiao family's income has risen wildly. It can be said that the Xiao family's success today is entirely due to Su Yun's credit. Xiao Zhan naturally didn't want anything to happen to Su Yun. Galileo, is this serious? Do you know the consequences of false news? Xiao Zhan said seriously to Galileo in front of him. Of course, I can still lie to you. I'm out of my mind. With an earnest look, Jia Libi poured out bitter water, saying how difficult it was for him, how dare he make fun of the 4th-grade pharmacist and so on. Xiao Zhan narrowed his eyes. That's right, this matter is directly related to Master Han. Even if he had 10 guts, he wouldn't dare to offend a 4th-grade pharmacist. When are they going to do it? Xiao Zhan thought for a moment, believed him once, and asked Galileo about it. Seeing that Xiao Zhan believed it, Jialibi was overjoyed, so he said. At the beginning of next month, the Auba family didn't know where Master Han was. It is planned that at the beginning of next month, after Master Han comes to your Xiao family to deliver the elixir, he will intercept and kill him on the way back. Hearing that there is still a month to go, Xiao Zhan is certain that there is still time to prepare. Master Han has been helping their Xiao family all the time. Now that Master Han is being tricked by villains, their Xiao family naturally needs to be of some use in order to show the ability of the Xiao family in front of him. So Xiao Zhan and Galileo agreed on the details. The Jiaoya family acts as the internal support, while the Xiao family surrounds it from the outside. Sweep this Auba family all at once. After the discussion, Xiao Zhan sent Jialibi away from the back door, looked at his back, and thought about Jialibi's intention to inform. Xiao strategy understood after a little thought that he was surrendering. He is a smart man, knowing that there is no chance of winning. He betrays his teammates and surrenders. A trace of contempt flashed in Xiao Zhan's eyes again. He shook his head. He didn't care about Jialibi anymore. The most urgent thing to do is to arrange this matter with the 3 elders. On the other side, Gabriel gave a sinister smile. Aubaton has well-developed limbs and a simple mind, while Xiao Zhan is also a stupid old man. These 2 idiots don't know the truth of the matter even if they think hard. They are all played by me in the palm of my hand. Ha ha ha. Xiao Zhan called out the 3 elders, and the 4 of them were in the hall of the Xiao family at this time. The great elder frowned listening to Xiao Zhan's description. There is such a thing, that the other 2 elders were also furious. Although the 3 of them did not fight against Xiao Zhan, they must be on the same page when it comes to the interests of the Xiao family, and they can distinguish between right and wrong. Now Su Yun and the Xiao family are not saying that one is prosperous and the other is damaged, but that their Xiao family is completely attached to Su Yun, a 4th-grade pharmacist. Now that their thighs are being targeted, can they not be angry? That's the way it is. That Galileo has just left, so there should be no false news. This matter needs to mobilize all the forces of the Xiao family. I can't decide on my own. I don't know what you think. Xiao Zhan sat on the main seat, scanning the 3 elders. The 3 elders looked at each other and understood each other's thoughts. Beat. The great elder took the lead in speaking out. If that's the case, then cooperate with the Jiaoya family and destroy his Auba family. That the other 2 elders also nodded in agreement. Xiao Zhan nodded. This matter is settled like this. After a month, there will only be 2 big families left in Wutan City. Su Yun, who was leisurely at home, had no idea that a huge storm was about to be set off in Wutan City because of him. At this time, he was eating the fruit served by the little Dr. Fairy. He had never eaten this kind of thing in his previous life, so it should be a unique variety in this fighting spirit continent. This looks a bit like the peaches from the previous life. Su Yun took one from the table. It was very watery. Biting it down, splashed a lot of white pulp. The little doctor was right opposite Su Yun, and it was quite close, making the little doctor's face smug. Elder brother, that the little doctor Xianjiao gave a snort, a little annoyed. Su Yun laughed. Siener, I said I didn't do it on purpose. Do you believe me? That the little fairy doctor glared at Su Yun, wiped his face with his finger, and put it in his mouth. It's pretty sweet. Suyun looked at the actions of the little fairy doctor, and his eyes were a little strange. This small cherry mouth, the little fairy doctor took out a handkerchief and wiped it on his face. Although it was clean, his face still felt sticky because it was fruit pulp. "Brother, what are you looking at? Are you thinking about something impolite?" That the little fairy doctor looked at Suyun with a hint of disgust in his eyes, as if looking at a moron intent on molesting a beautiful girl. "Ahem, Siener, how can you say that about brother?" Suyun coughed, trying to regain a trace of his elder brother's majesty. "Ha!" The little fairy doctor's face was full of disgust, but there was a hint of joy in his heart. "Brother is looking at my lips, do you want to taste the taste of Siener?" Just when the little fairy doctor was wandering into the sky, Suyun hit the little fairy doctor with a brain collapse. "Siener, were you thinking of something strange just now?" Suyun looked at the little fairy doctor with a hint of teasing in his eyes. "Ah, brother smelly. Brother is bad." The little fairy doctor's face was red. She broke her defense instantly, and rushed towards Suyun, pawing at him. Suyun and the little fairy doctor fought for a while, until late at night. The little doctor lay on top of Suyun, obviously exhausted. Suyun slapped the little fairy doctor's ass, feeling guilty. "Are you convinced?" "Convince. Siener is convinced, brother will spare Siener." The little fairy doctor rolled her cute eyes, a blush flashed across her face, she wrapped her arms around Suyun's waist, and begged for mercy, so shy. "Humph, brother is bad, he likes to bully Siener." A flash of pleasure flashed in Suyun's heart. He helped the little doctor up and hugged him in his arms. Walking towards the bed, he hugged the little doctor just like that, like hugging warm nephrite, and fell into a deep sleep. Waking up in the morning, Suyun opened his eyes, and the little fairy doctor in his arms was gone. Suddenly, he felt his ass being slapped. "My brother is such a big slob, the sun is drying his butt, and he still can't get up." Suyun turned around, and the little fairy doctor was wearing a home apron, looking at Suyun with a smile, and there was a flash of revenge on his face. Suyun got up and tapped the little head of the little fairy doctor. The smile on the little fairy doctor's face became even sweeter. Chapter 35 Phantom Jue, 3rd Update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side, the Jie family in Yuten City, Aubaton was discussing the details of the ambush with Galileo. Suddenly, Aubaton asked Gabriel a question. "Galileo, what did you do at Zhao's house last night?" Galileo was startled. "There are spies." "He went to Zhao's house last night by a small path, and when he left he also walked by the back door, just for concealment, but unexpectedly he was discovered." Although Galileo was a little surprised in his heart, he remained calm on the surface, and he was quick to think, and he immediately thought of his speech. Galileo snorted coldly, turning his back on the customer. "What do you think I'm going to do?" Aubaton frowned. Not knowing what Galileo meant, seeing Aubaton's gesture, Galileo knew what he was doing, and immediately became confident, and sneered. "Do you think I'm as stupid as you? Since you want to ambush Hanli. Of course, we must guard against the Xiao family's counterattack. I have arranged an undercover agent at the Xiao family. When we do something, he will delay us for a certain period of time." Aubaton came to a sudden, and felt that what Galileo said was right. Galileo observed Aubaton's expression from the corner of his eye, heaved a sigh of relief, and a trace of contempt flashed in his eyes. "You idiot, you deserve to die." Thinking of this, Galileo felt a little uneasy again, hoping that things go well together. Their Jie family is really exhausted, the only way to go is to surrender, and the Auba family is his vote. In the blink of an eye, a month passed, and Suyun was on his way to Zhao's house. Suyun frowned, feeling something unusual. His soul is naturally very powerful, and he has also cultivated soul art, and his perception has long surpassed that of Dou by many times. Along the way, there were many eyes staring at him both openly and secretly. Suyun sneered, walked to a corner where no one was there, his figure gradually disappeared, and his breath disappeared. Phantom Jue is an intermediate-level fighting skill of the mysterious rank, which is an auxiliary fighting skill. There are two functions. First, assimilate the body shape and the surrounding light and shadow to achieve the purpose of invisibility. Second, hide your own breath. it is worth mentioning that this second function can be used to hide one's own fighting energy fluctuations and achieve the purpose of camouflaging one's realm. All along, he has used this fighting skill to hide his fighting spirit as a one-star fighter in front of Luo Qianqian, but other people, like Xiao Zhan, Huang Tang and his ilk, don't even know what state his cultivation is in their perception. Su Yun's aura is as calm as a lake, and they can't see reality clearly. The level of this fighting skill is not high, but it is very practical. He still remembered the description in the original book. During the 3-year agreement, Nalan Yanran could isolate her from other people's detection with just one treasure. Only when she took off the things, could her 2-star master Dosher's cultivation be revealed in front of the Dohuang powerhouses. His fighting skill can also achieve this effect, but he can't do it in front of others. When fighting, the fluctuation of fighting energy can't be covered at all, and it is easy to be exposed. It was also because of his fighting skills that he dared to appear in Zhao's house and dance in front of Ling Ying. Although the strength of the Dohuang strongman is strong, he may not be very powerful in the field of detection. This is also explained in the original book. What is the most powerful detection method on Dou Qi Continent? It is the soul power. Although the soul of the Dohuang powerhouse is stronger than that of ordinary fighters, it does not have much powerful detection ability. Wearing the human skin mask provided by Yafei, Xiao Yan could have a face-to-face conversation with Jia Xingtian, the 9-star fighting emperor powerhouse, that is to say, as a 5th-rank pharmacist. Yafei Ma found out a little by virtue of his powerful soul power. Therefore, it is normal for him to use this mask and Phantom Jue to not show chicken feet in front of Ling Ying. After all, in terms of cultivation, Ling Ying is no more than an 8-star Dohuang. As for soul power, although Ling Ying is from the ancient clan, he is not a direct disciple of the ancient clan, and his status is low, so he is not qualified to practice soul arts. After all, the soul art is precious even to the 8 ancient clans. Su Yun concealed his figure, walked out from the corner, and approached those who were spying on him in his perception. Su Yun used the scanning function of the system to see their identities at a glance. They are all from the Aubaton family and the Jiaoye family. Su Yun raised his eyebrows, and a coldness flashed in his heart. If you can't win over, are you going to do it? Heh, Su Yun sneered. It was useless to startle the snake. Su Yun appeared again, already in an alley not far from Zhao's house. His strength is indeed strong. It is not difficult to break out of the siege surrounded by these people, but there is no way to catch them all. Since you dare to ambush him, you will naturally have to pay the price. Su Yun came to the gate of Zhao's house, and was welcomed into the hall of Zhao's house by Xiao Zhan and the 3 elders of Zhao's family who had been waiting here early. Before Su Yun could speak, the elder of the Xiao family spoke first. Master Han, something is wrong. Our Xiao family found out that the Aubaton family intends to harm you. Su Yun was a little surprised. The Xiao family actually got the news in advance. Xiao Zhan was a little impatient, and he glared at the great elder. This old thing rushed to the front and asked for credit from Master Han. The great elder was complacent, and he was not afraid of Xiao Zhan. He is extremely old, and like Xiao Zhan, he is a great fighter, so naturally he is not afraid of him. His actions this time also had his own thoughts in mind. His eldest granddaughter, Xiao Yu, has just broken through to the 8th stage Dou Qi during this period, and he wants to follow what Xiao Zhan did before, and ask for a qi gathering powder for Xiao Yu. The great elder is a sensible person. He is very clear that the reason why Su Yun refined qi gathering powder for Xiao Yan before is because Xiao Yan is the grandson of the old man Xiaolin. In fact, he and Su Yun didn't have much friendship, so he wanted to take this opportunity to establish a good relationship with Su Yun, so as to make plans for the future. Xiao Yu has just broken through to the 8th stage Dou Qi, so there is no need to be too anxious. Oh, unexpectedly, the Xiao family also got the news. Su Yun looked surprised, but he frowned again. This information is not equal, and there is another Jiaoye family. Just when Su Yun was puzzled, Xiao Zhan and the first elder took turns telling all the news they got in order to claim credit. After a while, Su Yun understood, but he didn't expect that Jialibi was so knowledgeable about current affairs. This saved him some effort. Originally, he planned to unite with the Xiao family, Middle Auction House and Alchemists Guild to exterminate them. Now there is only one Aubaton family. The Xiao family and the Jiaoye family are enough, so there is no need to go through a lot of trouble. Su Yun nodded. Since the Xiao family and the Jiaoye family have intentions, I will leave this matter to them and give them a chance to express themselves. As for the reward, it was just a few pills, and he happened to have the remaining Sanwen Qingling pill and purple heart barrier breaking pill in his hand. Su Yun cupped his hands. Since that's the case, I'll ask a few of you. Chapter 36 Aubaton, Die. Fourth update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's just an Oba family, it's not worth his own shot. The scariest thing about a pharmacist is his connections. A high-quality pharmacist can win over a bunch of powerful people with a single call. Although he is only a fourth-rank pharmacist now, his ability in this area has already begun to take shape. Xiao Zhan and the three elders were overjoyed when they heard the words, "This matter must be done well." On the other side, Galileo and Aubaton were in a dilapidated house near Zhao's house. Strange, what's going on? Why is there no news of Hanli appearing in Zhao's house? Aubaton frowned, cursing inwardly that the follower was not good at doing things. Galileo is also a little strange. Logically speaking, such a situation should not happen. At this moment, someone knocked on the door of the room. "Come in," Gabriel said. Seeing the person coming, Galileo narrowed his eyes. This person was arranged by Galileo to connect with the Xiao family nearby, and was responsible for passing on the news from the Xiao family. But according to the plan, he shouldn't have appeared at this time. The visitor seemed to know Galileu's doubts, and his eyes moved quietly. He cupped his hands and said to the two of them, "Patriarch, Lord Aubaton, I just saw Hanli enter Zhao's house through the side door. It seems that Hanli went to Fengshe first, and because of the road, he entered through the side door." Galileo understood instantly, and an unknown cold sweat flashed across his forehead. It must be that Hanli discovered the person in ambush, somehow bypassed all eyes and entered Zhao's house. In order to carry out the plan normally, the Xiao family used such an excuse to pass on the news cryptically. Galileo was a little lucky at this time, but fortunately he chose to surrender. Otherwise, today, his Jia family will also be wiped out. The methods of the fourth-grade pharmacists are simply not something they can guess. "I see." Aubaton was still kept in the dark, nodded, and heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. If something went wrong in this ambush, as a result, Hanli escaped, and they could just wait to die. Galileo glanced at Aubaton calmly, and was relieved to see that he hadn't noticed anything. "Cursed secretly in my heart, idiot." Galileo adjusted and said to the person in front of him, "Cough, good job, go back and keep an eye on it." Said, gave him a look. This person understood and nodded. "Yes." Then, left here. Half an hour later, Su Yun left Zhao's house and appeared at the gate of Zhao's house. "Walk slowly on the road, as if you don't know anything." The follower was overjoyed. "Hurry up, notify the patriarch." Garibai and Aubaton were immediately informed. The two looked at each other. "Let's go." Su Yun walked to a remote place in a short while. At this moment, the person hiding in the dark slowly came out from the gloomy corner. The leaders were Galileo and Aubaton. Aubaton smiled grimly. "Master Hanli, long time no see." Su Yun sneered in his heart, but remained calm on the surface. "Oh, too, what do you want to do with such a big battle? What are you doing?" "Why, at this point, Master Han still wants to pretend to be confused." Aubaton let out a giggle. "The villain dies of talking too much." Su Yun snorted lightly, and didn't bother to talk nonsense to him. "Since that's the case, what else is there to say?" Aubaton couldn't help being a little annoyed when he saw that Su Yun was still talking hard when he was about to die. "Humph, give it to me. Send Master Han to hell." Aubaton couldn't help feeling a gleam of joy in his heart. The fourth-rank pharmacist who was unattainable in the past was about to die in his hands today. Jia. Not long after Aubaton laughed, Galileo, who was behind him, slapped out a palm. Wind palm. Galileo slapped Aubaton on the back, and Aubaton was completely defenseless and was knocked to the ground. Aubaton was lying on the ground, a mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth, all internal organs in his body were displaced, and he was seriously injured. You. Gabriel, you betrayed me." At this time, there were screams from all around, and Aubaton quickly raised his head to look up. The sight made Aubaton's three corpses jump violently. It turned out that the members of the Jia family around them had just attacked the members of the Oba family. Galileo sneered. The moment he made a move on Aubaton just now was the signal. At the same time as he strikes, people in the family will attack the people of the Aubaton family at the same time. There was another sound of footsteps from all around. The Xiao family brought people here. There was chaos all around. People from the Xiao family and the Jiaoya family joined forces to slaughter the people from the Aubaton family. Originally, the Aubaton family was at a disadvantage in terms of numbers, but now they were attacked by members of the Jiaoya family and were seriously injured, and the scene showed a one-sided trend. Wind palm. Galileo slapped Aubaton on the forehead again. You. Aubaton's eyes were as big as copper bells, and he pointed at Galileo, unwilling to die. Galileo breathed a sigh of relief, and now there is no proof, although he came to surrender this time. This matter was planned by him after all. If it is exposed, there is no guarantee that Hanli will not destroy his Jiaoya family. Su Yun watched from the side without thinking too much, just stayed where he was and waited for the dust to settle. In a short while, most of the members of the Aubaton family were killed on the spot, and some escaped. The Xiao family and the Jiaoya family sent a group of people to hunt them down. Xiao Zhan walked up to Su Yun. Master Han, this is not a place to talk. Why don't we move to my Zhao's residence? Su Yun nodded, and left the scene with Xiao Zhan, and Jiao Libi quickly followed, but the other 3 elders of the Xiao family did not follow. They all went to hunt down the rest. The elder of the Xiao family wanted to ask for a qi gathering powder, so he naturally worked hard, so he rushed to the front line. The 3 Xiao family elders basically hugged each other, and the other 2 elders were also pulled over by the great elder. When he came to the hall of Zhao's house, after taking his seat, Xiao Zhan clapped his hands, and a girl who looked 15 or 16 years old came over and made tea for Su Yun. Xiao Zhan said with a smile, "This is the Grand Elder's granddaughter, named Xiao Yu. Meet Master Han." Su Yun was a little surprised. Xiao Yu. Although Su Yun was a little curious, he nodded calmly on the surface. Well, it turned out to be the granddaughter of the great elder. These legs, well, they are quite long. Xiao Yu was a little nervous at this moment. It was the first time for her to be so close to such a big man. Although she had seen Su Yun before, it was only from a distance when Su Yun came. Su Yun took the teacup from Xiao Yu's hand, waved his hand, and made Xiao Yu step aside. Thank you to Zhao's family and Jiaoya's family this time, otherwise Han will be in danger. Xiao Zhan and Jialibi quickly waved their hands. Su Yun said so, but they didn't dare to take it seriously. With Su Yun's method of evading the secret sentry, without them, he could retreat completely. Chapter 37 Xiaolan, 5th update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yun took out 2 jade bottles from the system space, asked Xiao Yu to give it to Xiao Zhan and Jialibi respectively. Patriarch Xiao has a 4th-grade elixir, the 3-grain green spirit elixir, which can increase the strength of the 3-star fighter. However, if refining fails, there will be a backlash, and there is a risk of a decline in strength. Su Yun took a sip of tea and said lightly. Hearing these words, Xiao Zhan and Jialibi both widened their eyes and raised the strength of Samsung. Under such a temptation, they subconsciously ignored the backlash. Xiao Zhan quickly thanked him with a smile on his face. Thank you Master Han, I will accept this pill. Su Yun nodded. He had already used this thing, and it was just right as a reward. Although he doesn't like the strength of the Xiao family, it is still useful. It is quite easy to deal with trivial matters, such as destroying a small family. Galileo, who was on the side, looked at the elixir in his hand and asked quickly. Master Han, dare to ask me about this one in my hand? Jialibi's tone was careful. After all, his relationship with Su Yun was not as close as that of Xiao Zhan and Su Yun. The Zixin Breaking Barrier pill is also a 4th-grade pill, which can only increase 1 star's strength, but there is no backlash after taking it. Compared with the Sanwen Qingling pill, it is more stable. Su Yun said, the Jiaoya family has contributed a lot this time, so they should give some benefits appropriately. Jialibi was overjoyed when he heard the words. Although the Purple Heart Barrier Breaking pill was not as good as the Sanwen Qingling pill, but he was satisfied. Su Yun gave the reward to the 2 of them, and planned to go back. He didn't plan to wait for the 3 elders to come back, and he didn't need to wait in his capacity. Su Yun got up and cupped his hands to Jialibi and Xiao Zhan. Han will go back first, and the remnants of the Aubaton family will trouble you too. Xiao Zhan and Jialibi stood up quickly, nodded in agreement, and then Su Yun left Xiao's house amidst the 2 words of gratitude to Dade. It's been a while since I came out, I have to go back quickly, otherwise that girl should be worried. As Su Yun was walking on the road, he didn't know what was in his mind, and a smile appeared on his face. It didn't take a while for Su Yun to come and walk near the house, and the outline of the house in the distance had already appeared in Su Yun's eyes. Su Yun took a few steps forward, his brows suddenly frowned into a word of Sichuan, as the breath of Warcraft. A trace of worry flashed in Su Yun's heart. He began to run the mysterious shadow step, and ran at high speed. Because he was worried, Su Yun didn't go straight, but climbed over the wall and entered. When he returned to his yard, he saw that the little fairy doctor was staying with a flying monster. It didn't look like he was in danger. Su Yun's brows stretched slightly. This flying monster is a blue eagle with blue feathers all over its body, combining the memories of his previous life. Su Yun vaguely understood what was going on. At this time, he was a little bit moved by the wonder of fate, but he never thought that in this world, the little doctor could still meet this blue eagle. At this time, the little fairy doctor turned his back to Su Yun, and Su Yun Qian's shadow step has reached the realm of great accomplishment. When he climbed over the wall and came in, there was no sound, but the blue eagle found him and uttered a few chirps. However, the voice was not loud, and there was obvious weakness, and it seemed that he was seriously injured. Lanning tilted his head, and let out another cry. The little fairy doctor was a little puzzled, and looked back. Elder brother, that the little fairy doctor let out a cry of surprise. Whenever Su Yun came back from outside, the little doctor would be so pleasantly surprised, and it has always been like this. A smile appeared on Su Yun's face again, and he opened his hands. The little doctor was calm, trotted for a while, and threw himself into Su Yun's arms. With the warm and fragrant soft jade in his arms, Su Yun buried his head in the little fairy doctor's hair, sniffing the girl's body fragrance lightly. The 2 hugged each other for a while before they separated. Su Yun only asked at this time, "Xianer, why did this blue eagle come home?" "Oh, it flew down from the sky not long after my brother left, and was seriously injured, so Xianer bandaged it." The little fairy doctor explained. As if he had thought of something again, he hurriedly said again, "Brother, don't worry." Xianer approached it after making sure that she would not be in danger. Su Yun reached out and poked the little doctor's forehead. Let's not be an example." Seeing this, the little fairy doctor showed a sweet smile on his face. "My brother is the best." Xianer knew that my brother would not have the heart to blame me. Su Yun and little Dr. Immortal stepped forward and knelt down in front of Lanning. It's good to have such a blue eagle by the little fairy doctor's side. He is usually busy with cultivation and refining medicine, so the little doctor fairy will inevitably be a little bored by himself. Su Yun stretched out his hand, wanting to check Lan Ying's injury, but saw Lanning let out a long cry, and shrank back. At this time, the little fairy doctor stretched out his hand, gently stroking Lan Ying's trembling body, and comforted him with a soft voice. Don't be afraid, brother just wants to help you heal your injury, and won't hurt you." It may be that the little doctor's words had an effect, and Lan Ying's body returned to calm. Seeing this, Su Yun stretched out his hand again to check Lan Ying's injury. Su Yun took off the bandage on its body, and a 3-foot-deep wound appeared in front of Su Yun. The wound was smooth, and it should have been caused by a sharp object such as a sword. It should have been injured by a mercenary group that was wandering around. Su Yun completely removed the bandages from Lan Ying's body, and the little fairy doctor also helped. Before, the little doctor just sprinkled some medicine to stop the bleeding on the blue eagle. If he wanted to recover, he could only rely on its self-healing power. Su Yun took out 2 bottles of jade bottles from the ring, poured out a pill from one of the bottles and fed it to Lan Ying, and gave the other bottle to the little doctor to sprinkle on the wound and bandage it up again. The little fairy doctor was busy for a while, and Lan Ying's body was covered with bandages again. The 2 took 2 steps back. Under the effect of Su Yun's elixir, Lan Ying regained some energy, raised its head and screamed towards the sky. The voice was high-pitched, not as weak as before. The little fairy doctor laughed happily as he watched Lan Ying regain his vitality. Su Yun touched the little head of the little fairy doctor. The blue eagle flapped its wings, but it didn't take off. Instead, it folded its wings, bowed its head, and reached towards Su Yun and the little doctor. A hint of surprise flashed across the little fairy doctor's face, and he reached out his hand to touch the eagle's head. With a smile on Su Yun's face, he also stretched out his hand. Lan Ying's actions are like an ancient courtier expressing his loyalty to the king. In other words, the blue eagle surrendered to them. In the Dou Qi Continent, there is no such thing as a warcraft contract. If you want to gain the loyalty of a warcraft, you can only capture the cubs, and then keep them by your side for a long time to cultivate their feelings. Su Yun caressed the blue wings of the blue eagle, and a different thought stirred in his heart. A thought flashed in Su Yun's eyes, and after a while, he shook his head and said to the little doctor, "Sienna, give it a name." The little fairy doctor nodded, and nodded her head with her tiny fingers, as if she was distressed. After a while, the little fairy doctor's eyes lit up. "Let's call it Xiaolan." Fifth watch. Everyone was so awesome, they rushed to the second place in one breath. Originally there were 2 shifts per day, plus the promised 3 shifts, a total of 5 shifts. Never break your promise. Chapter 38 Testimonials. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I just received a notice from the editor in charge that it will be put on the shelves. First time for a new author. I don't really know what to say in my testimonials. The 5th update just broke out today, and it will be on the shelves tomorrow, but luckily there are still a few saved manuscripts in hand. Let me talk about my personal situation first. A college student, a sophomore this year, the second child in the family. The parents are both Ben Lu people, because of the epidemic. The family's economic situation, alas, everyone knows that too, so I just wanted to see if I could write a book and earn some living expenses. Let's also fulfill the writing dream that I have had since high school. This book was first published on QQ Reading, and everyone who reads here should know the situation. It's a membership book. As long as you become a member, you can read the book for free. It's the same as before it was put on the shelves. Book friends who have not charged will subscribe. I personally think that from the perspective of book friends, it is more cost-effective to become a member. I don't know much about the book friends on the starting point. I don't know if there is such a membership system, but it must be able to subscribe normally. Please rest assured that it will be listed as normal. Let me tell you about the update issues that everyone is most concerned about. It will be on the shelves at 12 noon tomorrow, and I will upload 6 chapters at that time for everyone to enjoy watching. In fact, the notification is a bit abrupt, otherwise there could be more. After all, only 5 chapters have been published today, and there are really not many manuscripts left. Then talk about adding more rules. Within a week, there are 1,000 recommendation tickets, plus a new chapter. Within 1 month, there are 50 monthly tickets, plus 1 more chapter. The total number of rewards is 3,000 book coins, plus a chapter. The recommendation ticket is because it will be cleared every week, and it can only be counted within 1 week. The same is true for monthly tickets, in terms of rewards. In fact, a total amount of 30 yuan is enough. I will also count the amount of rewards before listing. I'm a really newcomer writer, so the rules for adding updates shouldn't be too high. I feel, in short, writing is not easy. Please everyone, if you think this book is still good, please support it, really please. Finally, I built a book friend group. 6930837449.it will be on the shelves tomorrow at 12 noon. I hope everyone will come and see it. Chapter 39 Xiaolan's Advanced Stage, First Update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In this way, Xiaolan became a member of this courtyard. Normally, when Su Yun was cultivating in the courtyard, the little doctor would fly around with Xiaolan in the sky, but 1 person and 1 beast will not fly too far. After all, the Warcraft Mountains are nearby. There are other flying monsters in the sky. Once you encounter a flying monster above the 2nd level, you can't even run away. Because of this, the little fairy doctor was scolded by Su Yun. A month later, Su Yun was at Middle's auction house. Yafei took out a magic core from the ring. Master Han, this is what you want. I can't find the 2nd level Blue Eagle Demon core, but the 3rd level one. Yafei looked respectful and said to Su Yun. Su Yun nodded, and put the magic core into the system space. A magical beast like Blue Eagle can only reach the 2nd level when it becomes an adult. But if it wants to reach the 3rd level, it needs Lan Ying's own talent. It is even more difficult to reach the 4th level, unless the bloodline mutates, or eats some natural and earthly treasures, otherwise it is impossible. During this period of time, he only got a few first-order Blue Eagle magic cores from the Tuoxiao family, the Jiaolai family, the Middle Auction House, and Luo Qianchen. After all, it requires a specific warcraft, and it has only been a month before and after. It is not certain that a magic core will be produced in the body of a first-order monster, and the Blue Eagle is a flying monster, so it is not easy to kill. Su Yun took out a card, paid Yafei the reward, and left the Middle Auction House. Yafei looked at Su Yun's leaving back, her pretty brows frowned into a word of Sichuan. During this period of time, she has gained a firm foothold in Yutun City by virtue of her extraordinary skills. She saw the situation in Wutan City well, and she could see clearly that Hanli was the biggest local snake in Wutan City. In Wutan City, all the forces that have been seen before have a lot to do with it. As for the ones that don't matter, they have already been wiped out. This Hanli was not only powerful, but also decisive in killing. With 2 4th-grade pills, he mobilized the Xiao family and Jiaolai family to destroy the Auba family. Elder Kuang Tang is experienced, even if he is so. It took 2 years but failed to win him over. Before she came to Wutan City, she was still full of confidence, but now, even she had to admit that Hanli was very difficult, but it would be impossible for her to just give up like this. A 4th-grade pharmacist is of great value, not to mention a 4th-rank pharmacist who can refine 4th-rank peak pills. Give him some time to grow. 5th grade, that is an existence that can sit on an equal footing with Dou Huang. A trace of envy flashed across Yafei's face. If she could also become such an existence, she might be able to control her own destiny. Although she is a direct descendant of the middle family, the big family is so cruel, for a girl like her who has no talent for cultivation and looks beautiful. The biggest possibility is that her family arranged a marriage. Yafei looked unwilling, and a trace of struggle flashed across her face. If there is a 5th-grade pharmacist standing behind her, even if they are as strong as the middle family, they will not dare to touch her. It will take control of your own destiny. A trace of firmness flashed in Yafei's heart. Su Yun returned home and came to Xiaolan. The functions of the system often require him to explore by himself. Scanning and recycling functions are okay, but fusion is different. This thing has a lot of room to operate. On the contrary, if you want to operate it, you have to spend a lot of time exploring it. When he first came into contact with Xiaolan, he was thinking whether it is possible to fuse the magic core with Xiaolan. He had tried many times this month and, no doubt, failed. He didn't give up though, and over time, he came up with a solution that worked. It might be possible to use the same magic beast as Xiaolan, Blue Eagle's magic core. Some time ago, he got several first-order Blue Eagle magic cores, but he failed again. But that failure was different than before. In previous failures, the system always displayed, ding, the solution was detected to be infeasible, and the fusion failed. But it's different with Blue Eagle's magic core, ding, a fusion solution has been detected. 3 first-order Blue Eagle magic cores, 1 second-order Blue Eagle magic core, and 1 first-order Blue Eagle. It can be fused into a Tier 2 Blue Eagle, and a Tier 2 magic core is required. Su Yun stroked Xiaolan's blue feathers with his hands. If Xiaolan can have the strength of the 2nd level, he can feel more at ease. He is not far away from Douling now, and after he breaks through, he will proceed to the Great Tagore Desert to seek Qinglian's heart fire. At that time, I will definitely not bring the little fairy doctor with me. The Tagore Desert is no better than Wutan City. There are mercenaries gathered there, there are also snake people haunting, and there are many strong people such as Dou Ling and Dou Wang, so he cannot guarantee the safety of the little fairy doctor, so it's better to keep the little doctor in Wutan City. Thinking of the little fairy doctor, Su Yun couldn't help thinking of her giggly smile every time he went home. This silly girl. A trace of worry flashed across Su Yun's face, in Nanda's body. He still hasn't decided when he wants the little doctor to activate the Ernanda body. Now he has a solution for the 3 different fires, but the other materials have not yet been found. Su Yun took a long breath, clenched his hands tightly, and didn't get too entangled in this aspect. Instead of worrying all day, it's better to fill your day's schedule and strive to grow. System: fuse 3 first-order Blue Eagle magic cores, 1 second-order Blue Eagle magic core with Xiaolan. Ding, a fusion solution has been detected, and it needs to consume a second-order magic core. Do you want to fuse? Fusion. Following Su Yun's order, 3 Tier 1 Blue Eagle Demon Cores, a Tier 2 Blue Eagle Demon Core, and a Tier 2 Demon Core quietly disappeared in the system space. A strange energy merged into Xiaolan's body, and its body changed visible to the naked eye. Xiaolan's entire body stretched, her blue feathers became more shiny, her eagle claws stretched and became sharper. Feeling the changes in her body, Xiaolan screamed to the sky, making a high-pitched scream. The voice revealed the power of the soul, and her pair of eagle eyes became sharper. Suyun stretched out his hand again to stroke Xiaolan's feathers. Xiaolan lowered her head and rubbed Suyun's cheek. In Suyun's ear whispered twice, although the second-order monsters don't have much wisdom, Xiaolan has a faint feeling that the changes in her should be brought about by Suyun in front of her. How did Xiaolan become like this? That at this time, the little fairy doctor who was staying in the room, heard the sound in the courtyard, came out, and asked in surprise. The little fairy doctor trotted up to Suyun with her skirt in hand. "Brother, did you do it?" That the little fairy doctor's face is full of admiration. In her opinion, her brother Suyun is omnipotent and can do anything. Suyun pinched the little doctor's cheek with his fingers. It was very soft and elastic, exuding the unique fragrance of a girl. Suyun smiled, didn't admit it, but didn't deny it either. Chapter 40 Flight Distress, Second Change. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sienna, let's go, let Xiaolan take us flying for a while. Suyun lifted the little fairy doctor high, set off and jumped onto Xiaolan's broad eagle back. Without putting down the little fairy doctor, Suyun sat firmly on the eagle's back, holding the little fairy doctor in his arms, with his palms pressed against Jianqian's slender waist. The hand feels very good, with a warm and soft rubbing feeling. A blush flashed across the face of the little fairy doctor. Suyun's big hand was placed on her waist, and the fiery breath of the young man came from behind. The little fairy doctor stretched out his hand to pull up Suyun's hands, and placed them on his lower abdomen. His weak little hands overlapped like this, and he leaned back slightly on Suyun's solid body. Feeling the little fairy doctor's movements, Suyun tightened his arms slightly, tilted his head slightly downward, and gently pressed against the girl's ear. "Have you sat still?" That the girl's face was slightly red, and she nodded. Xiaolan. Xiaolan spread her broad wings and flew high, and within a short while, she was in the sky. Xiaolan didn't fly very fast, and it seemed to know that the two masters on its back didn't want to hurry. A slight breeze blew the little fairy doctor's blue hair, and hit Suyun's face. Like a girl caressing her lover's cheek, the little fairy doctor couldn't help but open his arms, close his eyes, and feel the breath of the wind. Xiaolan flew quite far away, not like before, only near the sky above. The house, obviously, after undergoing a transformation, it also wants to experience a different scenery from the past, but Suyun didn't care. Today he is here. Even if they encounter a fourth-order flying monster, they can retreat unscathed. Zayunyi's flying speed is extremely terrifying. He used it many times when he was in the Warcraft Mountains. If it runs at full strength regardless of the consumption of battle energy, it can produce a speed comparable to that of a fifth-order monster, the Black Flame Ziyun Eagle. In a short period of time, Xiaolan flew for a while again. Its flying direction was toward the Warcraft Mountain Range, but it did not fly inside the Warcraft Mountain Range, but circled outside. The interior is still too dangerous. If you encounter groups of flying monsters, you will still be in trouble. Just as they were enjoying the beauty of the blue sky, an arrow beam appeared in Suyun's perception. At the same time, Xiaolan also discovered this, slightly changed the direction of flight, and the arrow beam passed by less than a foot away from its eagle body. "Ah!" the little fairy doctor exclaimed. Seeing this thrilling scene, Suyun frowned into a Sichuan character, and a trace of coldness flashed in his heart. It is estimated that Xiaolan regards Xiaolan as a wild monster and wants to hunt it. Suyun stood up, put the little fairy doctor on the eagle's back, and asked her to hold on to Xiaolan's feathers. After making sure that she was safe, he bent down from the eagle's back to look down. His soul power is strong, and his eyesight is also enhanced. Although the specific face of the archer can't be seen clearly, the general physical characteristics can still be seen. Suyun fixed his eyes and saw a tall, burly man with one eye wearing a black blindfold. Generally speaking, if it is a family force, it will be in groups when they come to the Warcraft Mountains. Those who are alone are usually mercenaries who claim to be powerful. Xiaolan has already flown very high. but this person can shoot so accurately, it is obvious that his archery skills are superb, one-eyed, with superb archery skills and maybe even practiced archery-like fighting skills. He is also a mercenary with good strength. These characteristics are enough. There was a sneer on the corner of Su Yun's mouth. This is already the outskirts of the Warcraft mountain range. If he uses Xian Wing now, he will find trouble with that man. If you scare him, go straight to the nearby cave or jungle. With the complexity of the terrain of the Warcraft mountains, it is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. Moreover, this person is very good at archery. If he leaves and he shoots Xiaolan, the little fairy doctor will be in danger. It can only be settled after autumn. At this time, the advantages of power are revealed. If he searched around here alone, he didn't know how long it would take, but mobilizing the forces in Wutan City is completely different. After such a thing happened, neither Su Yun nor Xiao Yixian had the intention to stay any longer, so they told Xiaolan to turn around and go back directly. On the ground, the man with the bow and arrow had an uneasy expression on his face. Damn it. It's not a wild monster. He felt a little uneasy. He also saw Su Yun when he showed his head just now. Although he didn't see the face clearly, he clearly knew that it was a human being standing on the blue eagle. The man touched the bow and arrow in his hand, and the abundant fighting spirit in his body gave him a sense of security. He is a mercenary active in the vicinity of Wutan City, because he accidentally obtained a low-level archery fighting skill of the mysterious level, coupled with the strength of a fighter. He is quite famous in the vicinity. The man ran into the nearby jungle, raised his head, and stared closely at the blue eagle in the sky. If the blue eagle attacked him and asked him to settle the score, he would immediately draw his bow and shoot an arrow in order to shoot the blue eagle down, and it would be best to kill the person on the eagle's back directly. Since you have already offended, then offend to the end. The man has a fierce look in his eyes. But things didn't go as the man expected. The man watched the blue eagle fly into the distance, feeling a little uneasy. Then he began to comfort himself again. He has been wandering in this area for so many years, and he has never heard of anyone taming a blue eagle. It should just be an outsider passing by. Thinking of this, the man breathed a sigh of relief. Qianlong doesn't overwhelm local snakes. Since he is not from Wutan City, it is not easy to find him. On the other side, Su Yun and Xiao Yixian returned home. It's so dangerous. Just now, there was a trace of fear on the little fairy doctor's face. No wonder my brother didn't let me and Xiaolan fly to other places. It's too dangerous outside, but it's still safe in my brother's arms. The little fairy doctor threw herself into Su Yun's arms again. Su Yun subconsciously embraced the little fairy doctor, patted her head, and patted her back. I just thought that the little fairy doctor was still afraid of what just happened. It's okay, Xianer, don't be afraid, brother will protect you well. The little fairy doctor hugged Su Yun's waist with her slender and boneless hands, with her head turned sideways, sticking to Su Yun's chest. Su Yun comforted the little doctor for a while before she let go and returned to the room. Su Yun changed Han Li's appearance, told the little doctor to be careful at home, and rushed to Zhao's house. It is not too late for a gentleman to take revenge for 10 years, but for a villain to take revenge from morning till night. Su Yun's thinking was running fast. This matter should not be publicized. If he spreads it in Wutan City, he will be wanted. He heard the wind, and it was not easy to go to other cities. Mercenaries are people with blood on the tip of their swords. Unlike those big and small families, keep assets in the local area, and will not give up the painstakingly managed site and leave unless it is a last resort. But the mercenary was alone, with no concerns, and could leave whenever he wanted. It would be best to catch him before he could react.